artist has an ugly phase in their work. Today we are going to talk about normalizing the ugly stage in our paintings. My name is Anna, I am a working artist, and on this channel I talk about art, mental health, life growth. I will be sharing some personal creative projects along the way, and I'm so excited that you are here watching today. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if any of this sounds interesting. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Why do we need to accept the ugly phase within our art? And if we can't accept it, that's completely fine, but we do need to learn how to tolerate it. So let's get right into the normalizing. Normalizing, I feel, helps us tolerate things better. It helps us accept things just a little bit more. You have to remember that as an artist, every single piece starts incomplete. Most of your painting, I would say about 80% of the painting, is going to be awkward, unbalanced, not always the right color scheme, and all the time it's going to look worse before it ends up eventually getting better. But recognize that none of this is a failure. It's a part of the painting process. It's the natural progression of building something complex. Unfortunately though, for us artists, that leads to a lot of frustration. As an artist, I know that I always clearly see the vision for my art within my mind. Every single time, it's so vivid, it's almost like I can reach out and touch it. And while the mind and the body work together, the body does not always translate the perfect innate beauty that the mind is trying to communicate it to. And sometimes an artist's skill level isn't quite at the level that it needs to be in order to execute the vision that they have in their mind. And I have fallen into that quite a bit. And this gap has caused so much frustration, not only for me, but I'm sure for a lot of young artists or artists that are growing and improving every single day and have been for years. If you have been feeling frustrated, don't let it get you down. Use that frustration as fuel, as energy to continue to grow, not to let it stop you. Don't think of frustration as it's time to do a hard stop. Think of frustration as weathering the storm, and once you know you get through that storm, it's going to be a beautiful sunny day on a great island somewhere where you're sipping a coconut on the beach. However, I would say a majority of my frustration comes from becoming trapped in the perfection mindset. Something that I have been learning over these past several months since becoming a sponsored artist. Wanting a piece to look too good early interrupts the very delicate process. Paintings are created in layers, and when you skip to the last layer, it does not allow previous layers to build up to this point. Overworking details too soon can flatten the energy of your piece. And remember, the energy that you have while you're painting is the energy that's going into your artwork, and it will show in your artwork to the viewer. The viewer will be able to feel that energy through your brushstrokes, through your authorship, through your singing. And as an artist, I have to constantly remind myself that perfectionism really is just rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear of what other people are going to think of my art, of my expression. But I'm not making my art for other people to love it. I'm making my art for other people to feel something. So whether their judgments are good or bad, if it moved them in any kind of way, then my work is done. Within this process of letting go of perfection, we really allow ourselves to blossom and move freely as artists. Allowing a piece to be imperfect creates movement and life within the piece, and movement and life within ourselves. And something that I feel isn't talked about enough, mistakes often become defining features of styles. Mistakes can become a trademark for an artist without them even realizing it. That's why when Bob Ross said there's no mistakes, just happy little accidents, it makes a lot more sense to me now. Trusting the process creates more natural and expressive work. I would not be anywhere that I am today if I didn't eventually accept my flaws and my mistakes within my paintings. And I also have to remember that those flaws and mistakes are my personal judgments on my own work. In a previous video, I spoke about how I personally set a goal for myself. I go after that goal, and once I get close to that goal, I say, actually, it's not good enough, and I set a new goal. It's me against myself. I'm the one setting the goalposts while simultaneously going after them. This is the perfectionism trap, and it will destroy your work. So what do we do about all of this? We really have to shift our mindset as artists. Moving forward, we're not going to be asking ourselves, is this good enough? What are other people going to think about this? We're going to instead ask ourselves, what is this teaching me? How am I growing through this process? As soon as I stepped away from this desire to have immediate results and I just began enjoying learning, that is when my art started blossoming. It started shifting into something completely different, completely out of what it is that I even envisioned in my mind. These perfect visions that I had in my mind went away into something even more incredible than I had thought previously. Now, every piece that I do finish, even if it's imperfect, becomes a part of my long-term development, which in turn becomes a part of my story. The fastest growing artists are not always the most talented. Art comes from practice, and practice comes from not having a need for perfection, but having a hunger for growth and learning. If you want to go from being a good artist to a great artist, I want to encourage you to tolerate the discomfort that come from the ugly stages in your work. Allow your pieces to be finished with imperfections. Most importantly, create consistently. Practice every single day and take it seriously. You're important. Your art is important. If you can sit through the ugly stage without quitting, you've already separated yourself from most people. So go out there, get rid of that perfection, tolerate your ugly phases, and keep making art. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in today. My name is Anna. I'm a working artist, and here on my channel, I talk about art, mental health, life growth, creative projects, and we'll see how it continues to develop as we go on. If any of this resonated with you, feel free to leave me a comment about it. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you liked or disliked, I want to hear about it and continue to build a community on my channel, on my pages. If you like this video, and if you like me, I like you too. Feel free to subscribe, and I will see you again in my next video. Thank you so much for watching today, and have a wonderful day. Bye!